Good afternoon. I'm Haley Ficasello, and this is Englebrook Independent News Federal Crime Report. Tonight, we're highlighting major federal prosecutions out of the Southern District of Florida, including cartel leadership charges, cruise ship sexual abuse convictions, violent drug crimes, threats against federal judges, large-scale neurotic seizure at Miami International Airport, disturbing animal cruelty charges, and racketeering-related kidnapping convictions tied to a violent human smuggling enterprise. We begin with a case targeting one of the world's most notorious criminal organizations. In Miami, an alleged senior leader of the Sinaloa cartel has made his initial appearance in federal court. According to court records, 53-year-old Fidel Felix Osha of Mexico is accused of directing a large-scale drug trafficking and money laundering operation responsible for smuggling fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine into the United States. Federal prosecutors allege Felix Osha coordinated the movement of hundreds of kilograms of narcotics using vehicle carriers and the U.S. mail. Once inside the country, drugs were allegedly stored in stash houses before distributing throughout Florida, Arizona, California, Texas, and Massachusetts. During the investigation, law enforcement seized approximately 73,000 fentanyl pills, 21 kilograms of pure fentanyl, 243 pounds of crystal methamphetamine, 2 kilograms of cocaine, and 24 firearms. The Sinaloa cartel was designated a foreign terrorist organization and specially designed global terrorists on February 20th of 2025. Felix Osha was amongst 37 Mexican nationals transferred into the U.S. custody on January 20th. The Justice Department Office of International Affairs coordinated the transfer. He is charged with conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance and faces a maximum penalty of life in prison if convicted. From cartel leadership charges to disturbing crimes at sea. A federal jury in Fort Lauderdale has convicted 48-year-old Brent Arthur Glippin of Palm Coast of attempted sexual abuse and abusive sexual contact aboard a cruise ship. According to the trial evidence, Glippin encountered a 21-year-old woman at a casino bar. Prosecutors say the victim became incapacitated within approximately 45 minutes, falling to the floor twice. Video surveillance showed Glippin placing an unconscious victim on his lap and attempting to digitally penetrate her. Federal prosecutors emphasized that the cruise ships are a place of recreation, not exploitation. Glippin now faces up to life in federal prison for attempted sexual abuse and up to 3 years for abusive sexual contact. Sentencing will be determined by federal district court judge. Next, a drug deal that escalated into a gunfire. 47-year-old Lester Leon Sanders of Miami Gardens made his first federal court appearance following charges tied to drug trafficking and firearm offense. According to court documents, Sanders allegedly reserved an Uber ride in October of 2024. While loading luggage into the vehicle, a firearm magazine reportedly fell from his clothes. Shortly after departing, Sanders allegedly ordered the driver to stop, exit the vehicle, and fired approximately 5 shots at the driver as he sped away, with his luggage inside. Police later recovered 929 grams of nearly pure cocaine, 6 pounds of marijuana, a loaded large-capacity firearm magazine, and additional ammunition and drug paraphernalia. If convicted, Sanders faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison and a maximum penalty of life. Federal authorities also secured a prison sentence in cases involving threats against the judiciary. 56-year-old Eric James Rennerant of Champaign, Illinois, has been sentenced to 33 months in federal prison for sending violent threats to the U.S. District Judge in the Southern District of Florida. Between May and July of 2024, Rennet sent multiple emails threatening to hunt down and kill the judge and the members of the judge's family. He pled guilty to 3 counts of threatening to assault, kidnapping, and murder a U.S. judge with the intent to impede or retaliate. Federal officials emphasize that threats against judges are attacks on the rule of law and will be prosecuted aggressively. Two foreign nationals are facing federal charges after more than 76 kilograms of hashish were seized during an outbound inspection at the Miami International Airport. 24-year-old Joseph Mark Dela Cruz of the United Kingdom and 20-year-old Caesar Ali Alan of Germany were intercepted before boarding separate flights to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Customs enforcement discovered approximately 38 kilograms of hashish in luggage checked under Dela Cruz's name, and nearly 38 kilograms more connected to Ilahan after canine alert. Each faces up to 20 years in federal prison per count if convicted. 36-year-old Francisco Javier Ravallo of Coral Gables pled guilty to distributing videos depicting the torture of monkeys in violation of the federal animal crushing statute. Prosecutors say Ravello created and administrated online chat groups dedicated to distributing and discussing violent sexual video involving monkeys, including baby animals. He personally distributed more than 40 such videos. Ravello faces a maximum sentence of 7 years in federal prison. A federal jury convicted 32-year-old Victor Rafael Orisha Albaja, also known as Vitico, for his role in the violent human smuggling enterprise that kidnapped and extorted Cuban migrants. Prosecutors presented evidence that migrants were transported by boat from Cayo Coco, Cuba, to Key Largo, then held in Miami Gardens safe house. Families were allegedly extorted for $15,000 per person. Victims were threatened with machetes, subject to mock executions, and held at rural properties when payments were delayed. Jury convicted Oresha Blaja of conspiracy to kidnap, multiple counts of kidnapping, alien smuggling, and violent crimes in furtherance of racketeering. He faces a maximum penalty of life in prison on kidnapping charges. These cases reflect a broad federal enforcement effort in the Southern District of Florida, targeting transnational drug trafficking, violent crimes, sexual abuse, judicial threats, neurotic smuggling, animal cruelty, and organized human exploitation. As always, all defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law. For continued coverage of the federal prosecution nationwide, stay with Englebrook Independent News. I'm Haley Ficasello.